Hello, friends. Welcome to Three Themes at Three. Hi, Miss Sandra.
Hi, Kris. How are you today?
I'm doing so well. I'm so excited to be here with you today.
Well, thanks. It's exciting.
We're ready to have a good time.
Yeah.
How about all of you? So
Yeah.
glad to have you with us for Three Themes at Three, where theme number 1 is something to smile about. Theme number 2 is something to learn. And theme number 3 is something to discover. Let's go. All right, welcome back to Three Themes at Three, everyone. So happy to be here with you on this Thursday. And how's everyone doing? I'm seeing in the comments things about rain and sun. No snow, hopefully yet, right?
But they did have the snow plows out the other day.
What?
Yeah, down in the Salt Lake Valley, that big deluge that we had.
Yes,
they
that's
had
right.
enough hail that they had to clear the freeway,
Uh-huh.
and they had to bring out the snow plow to do it. Can you
Wow.
believe that?
No, I
was like,
can't. That
whoa.
was kind of a weird
It really
set
was.
of events, right?
It was.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
We actually, Kris, have been up to Bear Lake. I watched your little thing on
Don't you
Monday.
love Bear Lake?
I do love Bear Lake.
Oh.
This is the 4th time we've been up there this year already.
Wow.
So we're in our trailer, and
What do you do when you go up there?
we have a side-by-side,
Uh-huh.
and so we'll take the side-by-side up into the mountain every now and again. We have a couple of kayaks that we go out on the lake,
So beautiful.
and then just kind of relax.
Good for you.
Just relax.
and so
that's
you just
really
came
fun.
back last night?
Yeah, we came back last
Uh-huh.
night, and we're going to go back up tonight.
Oh my goodness.
My trailer is still there,
Wow.
and so we left it up there and just kind of relax, and we'll be coming back home on Monday.
Okay, I'm telling all of you out there,
Yeah.
if you are ever in the northern Utah area, you've got to go to Bear Lake,
Yes,
right?
you do. It's beautiful, and right now it's really quiet because school
Uh-huh.
has started, and so all the
Yes.
tourists have kind of
Yes.
gone home, I guess you could say, but so it's
And
kind of quiet.
Now
but
tell me the one thing that Bear Lake, if you go to Bear Lake, what is the one thing you must purchase?
a
Let's see if
raspberry shake.
Oh, yes, there you go. I told you.
You do.
I told you.
You do. You really do. And I think, I've got raspberry plants in
Yeah.
my yard, okay?
Uh-huh.
But I don't get the raspberries off of those plants like they get up there.
I don't know what it is.
A lot of it is
is
the
it?
cooler weather.
Okay.
I do know that, especially the nights. It's a lot cooler up there. Now, we'll talk a little bit about this, but my daughter lives in Canada,
Yeah.
southern Alberta, and she also has raspberry plants in her yard. And
are they better?
Oh, they're massive.
Wow.
And much better, the flavor and everything. And I think it's just the cooler temperatures,
Sure.
especially at night.
Okay.
So,
Well,
yeah.
that seems to
Yeah.
make a lot of sense, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Jennifer's saying raspberry shakes are awesome.
They-
Yeah, they sure are. So, speaking of, I've been trying to do a little research because I want to create my own, but I think a lot of it has to do with the raspberries.
Well, and I will tell you another thing that makes a difference that we have found up there in Bear Lake
Yes.
is whether or not it's made with hard ice cream or soft ice cream.
So what do you think is
The hard ice
answer?
cream is much better.
Yeah, I think so too. And I think you got to have whole milk.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yes.
Just
Well, the
think,
creamier the
just
better,
bring
right?
it all on, right?
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, you know what?
So-
I'm so glad that you got a chance to get away for a few days. You're
Yep.
back with us today, and
Yeah.
it's the perfect time because we have been talking about vacations, right? We're at the end of summer. We're reflecting upon our vacations in different places we've been to this summer. And one place that Sandra has been to quite a few times because she happens to have a daughter who lives there. You mentioned before, but you also
my
vacation
grandkids.
there as well.
My
Oh yeah,
grandkids.
it's the grandkids who live there.
You know that.
Yeah,
You learned that really quick, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
It's the grandkids that you go there for.
Exactly, and that is Canada. And so, if you've been following along with us this week, we have been talking fabric postcards that are inspired by our summer travels. And so, on Monday we talked about Bear Lake, and we used the technique of improv curved piecing to be able to illustrate that on a fabric postcard. Then on Tuesday, we talked about Yellowstone, and we talked about doing paper piecing. Yesterday was all about Italy, and we talked about collage applique. Today, we're talking, Oh, Canada. That's all I know of the song.
Yeah, and I don't know the song either. My grandkids and my daughter, my son-in-law, they all know the song and sing it on a regular basis, just like what we do.
Exactly.
But yeah, I don't know the song either.
I know I stand on guard. We stand on guard for thee, but I don't know the tune that goes with it. So I just say, Oh, Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
There we go. So as we dive into her experience with Canada, let's go ahead and take a look at a few photos, and maybe you could share with us a few fun facts about this place.
You bet.
It's
you bet.
gorgeous.
This picture here is actually up by Lake Louise in Banff National Forest, which is just northwest, of Calgary. We've been up there to Lake Louise and in the Banff area, and it is absolutely gorgeous. Now you notice the color of the water.
Yeah.
Okay. First of all, the rivers up there all come from obviously the snow, but they also have quite a few glaciers.
Okay.
Now this is on the west side of the Rocky Mountain Range. And so as we traveled up the Rocky Mountain Range there up the highway, in this picture here, you can see some glaciers. Now, I will tell you, these pictures were taken in August.
Wow. The snow just doesn't melt that high.
The glaciers don't melt. Obviously, if anybody knows any of the history behind glaciers, is that they don't ever totally
I guess that
disappear.
Makes sense. Absolutely, sure.
But they do melt some, and then when the snow comes again, obviously, it builds it back up a little bit. But there's just some pictures of some of the lakes
it's so
up there in that area. But that's over by Lake Louise and in the Banff National Forest.
I'd love to know in the comments how many of you have been there. It looks like Joyce has been there before.
Joyce has said, that's awesome.
And Linda, my 6 sisters and me are from Lethbridge,
Yeah.
Alberta.
Now, see, Linda, that is just where my daughter is. She just lives a little bit south of Lethbridge in just a small little village that they call Sterling.
Okay.
Anyway, it's called a village because it has less than 1,000 people in it.
Oh, interesting.
So they determined those villages. Now that picture right there is actually a picture of a waterfall in Waterton National Park, which is just north of Glacier National Park. But that's one of the waterfalls just up there in Waterton.
Wow.
It's a beautiful area. Yeah.
That's breathtaking for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm right there with Suzanne. She's like, okay, my new bucket list place to go, right?
Yeah. Leanne says that she loves Canada. She said she needs to get up there again. And you do.
So
it is
pretty.
Definitely a lot of beautiful country up there.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really is.
A lot of beautiful untouched country.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, because the area there is not heavily populated like it is around here.
Sure,
and that. So
okay, well, you have taken these beautiful photographs, and there's nothing like a breathtaking shot that you not only want to treasure, but how about this idea? What if you could turn that photo into a fabric photo? All right, something that would just last forever, that maybe you could put on a fabric postcard, just like what we're talking about this week.
Yep.
So we're going to head over to the sewing machine, and Sandra's going to show us her techniques for being able to take some of those gorgeous photographs and transfer them onto fabric, which you know we all love that idea, right?
Yep.
So let's head over there, and while we do so, we want you to take a look at a little clip about treats for my boo. Sandra, you are the teacher of that. What do you want to say about this before we
This
head over?
actually is one of my favorite. I mean, I'm kind of a Halloween person. And so I like the decorations. Let's put it that way. I like the decorations of Halloween. The other stuff, not so much.
Yeah.
But I do like the decorations. And this has got to be the cutest.
Absolutely.
One of the cutest designs that Kimberbell has come out with about Halloween. It is just
you and Fern
adorable.
are teaching this. And when is this going to be?
This is in September, I think around the 20th. I can't remember the exact date.
You can find it on our website.
Yep, you can find it on our website. We
Okay.
still have plenty of room for people, and we would love, love, love for you to join us.
All right.
Great, great little projects.
Okay, that means virtually no matter where you live,
Right.
you can join Sandra and Fern for this great event. All right, and I believe it is September 20th.
I kind of thought that's what it was.
You're right. So
okay.
There you go. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the fun projects you're going to make, and we'll join you back over on set 2 for theme number 2 at the machine.
Hi, Grandma!
Hi, what's going on?
We wanted to tell you about our Halloween costumes.
Oh, that sounds so excited. Tell me all about.
I'm going to be a scary ghost. I'm going as a mummy. I'm going as you, Grandma.
Such a cute costume. Don't forget to trick-or-treat in my house.
We won't. I love you, Grandma.
Love you too. I see you soon.
I love Suzanne's comment. Why do these always make me tear up?
No kidding. But you know, I look at that and I think your grandkids would love to have that little trick-or-treat bucket, wouldn't they? Full of those treats. But yeah,
my favorite was the little one who dressed up like Grandma.
Yes,
that was the best.
I agree. Those are so fun. It's such fun projects.
For sure.
The leather tote and the jar topper, and then you make a little gift packet. It's just adorable. You know, so if you have not done Treats for My Boo, please join us. We'd love to have you.
Absolutely.
It would be fun.
All right, my friend.
Okay.
Show us what we're going to be making today.
So
Love this idea.
I've done this, and when Kris approached me on this, I thought, okay, I want my photos to be good, but I want them to be able to maybe look like you're looking through a window.
Oh, which I love.
Okay.
Yes.
So I approached her with the idea of doing it that way. So that's what I've done here. Is this my postcard? Now I did notice that during the week you guys all did serging around the edges of yours, and I did bind it,
You know
except
what?
for Allison.
Allison did bind hers as well.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I bound mine, and I think.
But let me give you this advice for anyone who's wanting to bind theirs. the post office has said you've got to zigzag it in order for it to go through the mail, unless you put a bound one inside of an envelope.
Okay.
So if you want to bind it, you certainly can. You just have to put it in an envelope.
Yeah,
Okay?
and I think that would work just great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because in reality, I'm not sure I want to have, a lot of stamps
Dirt
on it.
and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah,
dirt.
right.
People handling it and
Yeah.
everything. Because, if you're going to do something like this, you definitely want it to be a keepsake.
Absolutely.
In some ways, some kind of a keepsake. So
Yeah.
as you notice, this picture again is one of the pictures of the glaciers up in the
Gorgeous.
just north end, up above Banff. And then another thing that, we'll talk about that a little bit, is about the glaciers, but we also drove up a little bit further and went to the Columbia ice fields.
Oh, okay.
So up there, they have a bunch of glaciers up there, obviously, that haven't melted in forever. They've been
Okay.
there forever, but they have it actually marked as far as this is where the glacier was at this time, and this is where the glacier was at this time. And, we'll talk about that in a minute. Let's
Okay.
talk about this.
Yes,
let's talk
let's
about
do
this
it.
first, and we'll talk about the glaciers and everything in a minute.
So
But anyway,
how do you first, what are your tips for getting a photograph transferred to fabric?
okay, so the first thing that I did is that, and I just pulled these off my phone. These are pictures that I
Amazing.
took on my phone.
Right.
And so I just pulled these off my phone. And, your iPhones and all of your phones now are so advanced that you can just take it and send it directly to your printer.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so how do I get it to transfer from my phone to printer, your fabric, okay? So the first thing that I did is, this is just a piece of white fabric, okay? There's a couple of different options that you can do. This piece right here, I actually used Material Magic.
You're speaking my language.
Okay.
We love
So-
Tyrrell Magic.
Yeah, so Material Magic will make your fabric stiff enough that you can actually send it through your printer.
That's pretty impressive.
So that's really good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Takes a lot of layers. I shouldn't say a lot.
A few.
A few, but not too much. So you've just got to make something, somehow, some way, you've got to make it so that you can get your fabric through your printer.
Okay.
Okay? So,
Okay, first of all, I have to say I love this idea because, especially if you're just doing maybe one or two,
Right.
using this method,
Right.
it's easy, it's fast. Many of you already have it in your sewing rooms. It's Hero Magic. It's the stuff that you spray. A lot of you use it for your embroidery projects, and like Sandra said, it makes it just a little bit stiffer.
Yeah.
So you've got a few layers on here.
Right, I do.
And you allowed them to dry in
I
between?
did. Okay, so the first two layers, what I did is I actually just took it into the bathroom, in the kitchen, in the sink, and just soaked it.
Okay.
Okay,
You
and then
submerged the piece of
yeah,
fabric.
and,
Okay.
and I just made it really, really wet, and then I hung it up with a skirt hanger,
Sure.
and let it hang up in the bathroom.
Okay.
And let it dry a little bit. And just before it was totally dry, I
Yeah.
took it to my iron and I pressed it.
Good idea. Okay.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
And then that way you can make sure that it's straight. And then I took it from there, I took and just misted it.
Okay.
Now, obviously you're going to be really careful. You want to put something underneath it, either
Sure.
a towel or something, because you're going to get the Material Magic on other stuff.
Okay, let's feel this. I know you can't feel it on camera, through the camera, but if you could, this is definitely stiffer than a regular piece of fabric.
Right, right.
Is this stiff enough to go through your printer?
Not quite.
Okay, so
Not quite.
We're going to look for something more of a paper consistency, is what you're
Correct.
saying.
We're going to go
All
just
right.
a little bit stiffer.
Let's do that.
Now, this one here I took,
Oh, yes.
and you can kind of feel the difference.
Yes,
Okay?
definitely. Okay.
And this one probably has 4 layers of
Okay.
Material Magic on
Uh-huh.
it.
I love that.
Then we have another one here, and this one's probably got 6.
Oh, wow. That is definitely a lot stiffer.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
And
I
again,
love
all
that.
of these pictures I've taken are ones up there in Canada.
from
This
your
was just
phone, yeah.
a field
Well,
of flowers up there
And
that I like.
Rebecca says she likes to fuse her fabric to freezer paper, trim to the correct size, and then put it through your printer, which you certainly can do that
Oh,
as
my
well.
goodness.
Yeah.
Rebecca, that's
Yeah,
a great idea.
You absolutely could do that.
Yeah,
Okay.
that would definitely help. Now, let me just give you a couple of tips here. Okay, when you do it.
We're ready.
This one here, Kris, if you look at the print on this, and you can see the lines here. So I would highly recommend that you make sure that your printer is aligned, first of all, and that the rollers are clean.
Okay.
So after I printed this one, I went, oh my goodness, that should come out better than that. So I went in and I aligned my printer and I cleaned the smears, is what it said on my printer. And it's just a regular laser printer. I mean a regular inkjet.
Inkjet printer.
Not
laser.
You do not want
the laser
to
will
use,
get it too hot.
That's right.
Yeah.
You don't want a laser printer.
Yeah.
And I see that someone asked about the ink washing out.
Yes.
No, it will not wash out.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I cleaned it, and then you can see on this one, the difference is that there's no lines.
Yeah.
It's
it looks so much better.
A much clearer.
It really is.
Much clearer picture.
It really
so
is.
definitely make sure that you test your printer a little bit before you go sending it through.
Okay.
You also notice this one too. It's pretty ragged around the edges. Okay. So what you want to do, you want to start with a piece of fabric that is paper size. So 8.5 by 11.
Okay.
Okay. I started with a little bit bigger because it does shrink.
Okay.
When you put the Terrio Magic on it and you iron it out, it will shrink a little bit.
Okay.
So you want to start with a little bit bigger and then trim. So this piece right here, I would put another couple layers of Terrio Magic on it.
Yeah.
And then I would trim it.
Okay.
So you want to trim it
Then
down.
you have a really nice clean cut edge, right?
Right.
Okay. Love it.
You want to do everything that you can to prevent your edges from curling. Because if they curl, they'll catch.
Right.
Don't ask me how I know.
Yes, exactly.
Because I did have one that caught.
Oh my
and
goodness.
so it didn't go through quite as well.
All
But
right.
you
So
got to make sure it's flat.
Okay, so we've got this printed out, and then what do we do next?
Okay, so then the next thing you're going to do
Which
is
one are we going to cut apart?
we're going to cut this one apart.
Ooh, that's beautiful.
Okay.
All right.
So this is the one that we're going to cut apart. And I will another thing I'll tell you about this picture.
Yeah.
I did not adjust the color or
Wow.
anything on
That's
it. This
impressive.
is actually what come out of my phone.
That's
So,
amazing.
Yeah, that's the colors up there are absolutely incredible. So anyway, so to get to this point,
Yeah.
what you're going to do is you're going to cut it, all right?
All right.
So as you can tell, this is a little bit bigger than a postcard size.
Yes.
But we're going to trim it.
Okay.
So that's okay. So we're going to take our ruler, and I guess I better get a little bit bigger ruler than that one.
Okay.
And we're going to measure, and as you can see, this is about a 7.5, and it's about 5.5. So we're going to go and cut it down the middle.
Okay.
I've got my ruler here, and I'm going to measure over. Now you can put those.
Approximately,
Yeah,
because
you can put
change
it.
that.
Yeah, you can change it. You're
Sure.
going to trim it up anyway.
Yeah.
So it doesn't actually have to be right down the center. So I'm just going to take this, and yes, I'm going to cut it. I'm going to cut it right in half, just like that.
Way to go, Sandra.
Okay? I know, the first time I did it, I was like, ah! Then I've got a piece of
Wow, that's
black
small.
fabric here that's about 1/2 inch. That's 1/2 inch, because I didn't want to take away too much of it. You've
Okay,
only got
Sandra.
a 4x6.
So here's the thing. If you've got a 1/2 inch and we normally take a 1/4 inch and a 1/4 inch, you don't have anything left. So I bet there's a solution to that problem.
There is.
I'm
because
thinking.
you're going to use, you are going to only use an 1/8 of an inch seam.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I can do that.
Now, the other thing that I did with this is I did put a piece of fusible backing on it.
Ah, okay.
All right. So if you look at this one here, you
Also
probably
gives you a little more stability, doesn't
right.
it?
You looked
Okay.
at this and you're like, well, there's something on there.
Uh-huh.
On the regular just fabric, I put a piece of fusible backing that gives us a little bit more stability on it.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So this has a piece of fusible backing on it. So Kris, I'm going to have you take this
Okay.
and just 1/8 of an inch seam
Okay. Oof. All right.
on that.
Here we go.
And you don't have to measure because it's
Let's
just
take a look right here. Again, so we're just putting right sides together. Doris has a great idea. She said you could use an orange pop ruler.
You
Because
definitely could.
because it's a 4.5 by 6.
Yes, you definitely could.
All right.
When we're all said and done, you definitely can.
All right. So I got to find. Let's see where do I want to put my 1/8 of an inch? Yeah, we're gonna go there. Normally with a 1/4 inch, I'd be using the edge of my presser foot as my guide. So I'm just gonna kind of go about half. Well, not even halfway. All right, there we go. And
then you're going to take this one.
you can see, let's take a look at that. All right.
I'd probably
Do you
press
think I
it.
should do a little bit more, or is that okay?
I think you're
Would
probably.
you grab me some scissors, please?
You bet.
I'll just trim off the end here. Okay, and then we would normally press it, is what you're saying. Okay, I'm going to do a little finger press here. Make sure you can see that. How's that?
Great.
Okay. All right, and then I'm going to put these two together.
But, yep, and so you got to make sure that your lines, of course, this you're going to trim it, so it's not like the edges are going to be a big deal. You are
Okay.
on this one, it's not going to be a big deal, and you can see that it just kind of folds in there, and it works
Yeah,
really well.
I love this. All right.
And Doris, you are exactly right. You could definitely make a quilt using this technique. You are exactly right.
Okay, how's that?
Okay.
Does that work?
Well, you right down there on the very bottom.
Oh, that didn't catch
that
there,
didn't
did
catch
it?
right there on that one end.
All right, let me see if I can fix
Yeah,
that.
it takes some practice.
Let me fix that. I might not be able to fix it. We'll see.
You'll be fine.
Let's see.
Okay,
These
Heidi
are really
says
thin
that you
seam
could
allowances.
use a thin binding strip with a twin needle and sew over the top of the photo and not cut it apart.
That
you
would
know
be
what?
worth trying.
That would definitely be worth trying.
Okay, there we go. That's better. Okay,
It'll be
so we've got this.
Okay.
And then are we going to cut it
So
again?
we're going to cut it again.
Okay, so let me just go ahead and finger press that. All right.
Okay, so we've got that, and then now we're going to take it and we're going to cut it one more time. So we're going to cut this. Now, the trick on this part is lining up your strip down the center. Okay?
All right.
So you got to make sure that when you do the second one, so you've got a piece over there still? Okay.
I sure do.
So I'm going to have you sew that second strip on that one
Okay, let's take a look.
and
right
do it that
here.
way.
I'm just going to put this right there. Okay.
And you're going to sew that on there.
All right.
The final one is the biggest trick
Ooh.
because you got to.
Oh, you gotta line 'em up.
You got to line them up,
Yeah.
right? You want your
You want your window pane to look
yeah.
normal. Let's do a little readjustment there. All right. Make sure I caught everything there. Yep.
Okay.
All right. So let's go ahead and cut that up. All right.
Press that one. Now, at this point, Kris, I'm going to give you just a marker of some sort. This is just a pencil.
Okay.
And
Oh, yes.
you're going to mark those
Okay, let me make
edges.
sure everyone can see that because this is actually an excellent idea, even if you're just doing sashing on a regular quilt. Whenever you're doing sashing, one of the trickiest parts is lining
That
up those cross seams. So here you can see I just marked that seam all the way down there, and now you have something to line it up against. All right, so that's a great tip, Sandra. Thank you for sharing that.
And now you're going to line
All
that up.
right. So with that, then I know exactly where to put this. And I will do my very best.
Yeah, and I will tell you that the first time I did it, I had to take it out and
Oh boy, no
re-stitch
pressure or anything. No pressure at
Yeah.
all. Okay, hopefully I got that right. It's like Christmas, opening it up. Hey, not too shabby.
That's not too bad.
Okay.
Linda, those pencil marks will come out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, those are that is a pencil, a marking pencil for
Now,
sewing.
this
and it
is a
will come
little
out.
stiff, so I would definitely use an iron.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
this,
you're
I
gonna,
think.
and each time you do it, I pressed it and
Do you
made
think
sure
I
and
should
everything.
use the iron?
Yeah, for
Okay.
sure, you can.
I'm kind of like, I don't know about this, Sandra. All right. Do I need to use a pressing cloth or should I just
Nope.
go for it?
I just pressed right over the top of them.
Okay.
Now you can see it curls. It has a tendency to curl a little bit,
Okay,
and
so that's
very
normal.
normal.
My seam allowance is a little off. Just saying, but you know what? It's fine.
It's, you know what? It's okay
Oh,
because I have one
okay.
here all ready to go.
okay. That's not too bad. I mean, it's actually kind of terrible, but
I say it's not easy. I will say that. But here's one that's all ready to go and ready.
That looks really
ready to
good.
do. Okay. But I did a couple of them too, Kris. So it's all good.
Okay.
So at this point, it's what you're going to do is you're going to get, and again, this is a little bit different size than yours 4x6. But you're going to take your shape form. There we go. Shape form, and you're going to attach it to the back of your postcard. So this is actually a 4x6 size.
Yeah.
But you're going to take and use a spray adhesive of some sort, 505,
Sure.
any kind of spray adhesive,
Yeah.
and you're going to put that on the back of that,
And this one didn't go all the way to the edges, so you certainly could put another piece of fabric right behind it, right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So once you put that on, I'm guessing you just flip it over and then trim it up? Okay.
Yeah, and then you're going to put another piece of fabric on the back of it.
Yep.
Okay, so you're going to, you're going to have two pieces of fabric like that. So then it ends up that where you have your fabric and then your front, and then you can decide what
this
you're
is
going to
so
do around the
cool.
outside edge of it.
What a great project. What do
Yeah.
y'all think?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that is really, really neat.
Yeah, it is. It works out really fun, and so then you end up with something like this. As you can see, that's just a piece of plain fabric on
Yeah.
the back side of that, and then
Perfect.
I bound it. Now, the one thing that I wanted to show, Kris, is what your binding will do for your picture.
Yes, absolutely.
And I think everybody knows that as far as
I
a
think it's
quilt.
the same with a quilt, yeah.
Quilt goes, but it was a lot more prominent in the pictures.
Okay.
Okay. So let's take this picture, for example. Okay. And we're looking at it, we're like, what colors do I want to bring out in my picture? Okay, there's a lot of different colors, especially in this other one here.
Yeah.
In this one here, there's a lot of different colors in that one. But let's
Definitely.
just take a look at this one, okay? So let's put a piece of green over there.
It kind of just blends into this maybe a
does.
little too much.
It does, I agree.
I don't think there's anything wrong with it.
No.
But it might just blend a little too much. Okay.
Okay, so then let's see what maybe a blue would do, or a teal color would do.
I think it definitely makes it pop.
So let's go with something maybe this color.
Ooh, I like that.
What does that do for it?
That's really pretty.
So these are different things that you can determine as far as what I want to bring out in my picture, or
you could even do a black binding because then it would just match the window pane too.
there you go.
And that could actually kind of frame that.
Okay, I got one more. Let's just see what we think about this one.
That's pretty too.
Yeah, because see, that helps bring out a lot of the blue.
Of course, so she likes the green.
In that one.
Yeah, that's why I said, like, there's nothing wrong with any of those choices.
I
agree. Just think that you're absolutely right that certain colors bring out different aspects of the photograph.
And so, especially if you were thinking about making this into like a memory quilt.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've got a lot of pictures here. Then we had a great time. It was a fun vacation that we took. Actually, I'll just throw this out there. We actually did this on a motorcycle.
Oh,
and it was.
Of course you did.
I don't drive. I just ride with my husband. So I get to be the picture taker. I get to be the one that gets to see all of this stuff. And then he just drives up the highway.
So beautiful.
And it was an amazing, it was a great trip. But anyway, this was, I think this is probably one of my funnest vacations that we've had in a really long time.
Well, nothing like being outdoors.
Yes.
In nature.
Yes.
I love this. Thank you so much, Sandra. This was really a great project, and I think it's something that is very, very doable for sure.
Yeah, and like I said, all these pictures, if I wanted to, I could put them into a memory quilt.
Well, I know that there are many people out there who do take photographs of even like their ancestors or family photos and stuff, and they put them in memory quilts. You could use the same technique in so many different ways, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
You definitely could.
Wow.
So it was really fun. It was good I liked this project. It was fun to learn all the different things on different ways to do this.
Thanks so much for sharing with us a little bit more about Canada.
Yeah.
If we have any Canadian friends on, I know we usually do have a few of you. I'm sure this really is extra special for you.
Yes.
We hope so.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, thank you so much. That was great. And we are going to now move into a new discovery of yours that you're going to share with us. Very excited. And before we do that, though, let's take a quick look at another Kimberbell event coming up in November, I believe, called Deck the Palms. And again, with Sandra and Fern, it's going to be a party. You got to come, and you're all invited. So let's take a look at what projects you'll be making. We love reading what you're sharing in the comments. For example, Sherry says her husband would love to take a long drive with his motorcycle around there.
Oh yeah, it's
beautiful. The wind in your face.
I got a helmet. I wear a helmet. But yes,
that's incredible.
You can still definitely have the wind in your face. But yeah, a helmet is definitely a must.
I love that. And you know what else I love? This idea from Deb Peterson. She said that her son is a fly fisher, and he would post photos on his Facebook. I'd copy them and put them away until I had enough to make him a quilt. He loved it. What a wonderful
that's-
idea.
Deb,
that he would have
that's
never,
perfect.
thought
Oh,
about
yeah.
himself to do that.
Yeah, totally. That's
So-
perfect. I totally agree with that idea.
That's great.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, Jeanette loved Deck the Palms. That's a fun event.
It is fun.
So
it is a fun one.
It's cute. The projects
And
are
it's,
cute.
it
so.
is a, what they call a spark event.
Uh-huh.
So it's only a 4 hours, so it's not a full day.
Not as much of a commitment.
yeah, yeah.
A time commitment, right?
But they're fun projects to make, and you
love
know,
that.
whoever thought of flamingos for Christmas? But hey, it works.
There you go. Exactly.
It works.
I
That's
love
for
that.
Sure.
All right, my friend. So we go into discovering.
Okay.
And share with us some of your discoveries.
Okay, there's a couple of things that, first of all, let me continue a little bit about the glaciers up there in Canada.
It's fascinating.
It really was. Up at the Columbia ice fields, the temperature up there, again, this is the middle of August that we were there.
Yeah.
The highest temperature up there was like 50 degrees.
Ooh.
And so we're bundled up. We've got
Yeah.
our coats on and everything, and all bundled up. But the glacier never, it melts very, very, very slowly. But anyway, you can actually hike up to and walk on the glacier.
Wow. Do you have to wear special shoes?
Oh,
and
we
things?
just had our regular,
Really?
our boots on from our motorcycle shoes. So yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
that
yeah, we
sounds
just
like
did
a
that.
trip.
It was fun.
Wow.
But you do hike up a little bit and actually can walk on the glacier. So that was really a great experience for us.
That's neat.
Let's see, a couple of other things. Canada has got a lot of things that we don't have. Okay, but we have a lot of things they don't have too.
Right,
so
right. Yeah.
my daughter Tara, she comes down here and she'll load up on things that we have and take them home. And whenever we go to Canada, I always go up there and load up on things up there.
Tell us,
Okay.
what are the things that you load up on? Because
So-
she is so funny about that. She's making a trip to Canada. I'm coming back with this.
I have a list. I usually have a list of things, from
Yes.
even from other people.
Uh-huh.
They have a candy bar up there that I absolutely love, and it's called a Wonder Bar.
The Wonder Bar. I've heard of that.
Yes, it's got
Yes.
peanut butter in it. I don't have any here
Yes.
outside. I brought one for you to try it out. Yeah, Wonder Bar. It's got peanut butter in it, and it's a really great candy bar.
Okay.
Another thing that I recently discovered
Uh-huh.
is they have some gummy bears.
Okay.
Now, I am a gummy bear person. I
Yes.
like gummy bears.
Are you a gummy bear connoisseur?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I like gummy bears, and they have a gummy bear. And I actually, when I got home the last time, I searched to see if I could buy them in the States.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, they come out of Ontario.
What are they called?
I can't even, it's a high type or something like that. I can't
Okay.
remember the name of it. But anyway.
We're all going to be on the lookout
Yeah,
for
exactly.
those.
The flavor in them just pops. They're just, the flavor is so good. Anyway, but the one thing that my family really loves are the cherry nibs, the licorice. Now, it's made by Twizzlers.
Right. I said,
got some here.
Sandra, this is like,
Okay.
this is the nibs that you would find here, but like cut up. And she says, oh no. No.
You gotta
they
have.
are different.
You gotta have the ones that come full. Okay. They do have the ones that you can buy in just the packages, it's just that are all cut up. The ends. Let's put it that way. The ends that they have, but. These actually, my family are licorice people.
Yeah. Oh, I love licorice.
And these cherry nibs. But I let you have some. What did you say? What do you think? What do you think?
Absolutely divine.
The flavor. See, everybody here on set, I let them have a piece.
No, it was good. It was good.
Of cherry nibs licorice, and
like,
it is. The flavor in it is a little bit more poignant. I don't know what it is. Yes.
I might just write home about it.
Okay.
It was that good.
You're funny.
That
Chris.
good.
Oh, that's great. Okay, one more thing that I have discovered up there is their bread flour. Now, I think a lot of people know I make bread on a regular basis for my family, and that gold medal flour here, if you make bread, you're kind of a connoisseur of flour.
Yes.
I mean, you know that as well as anybody.
I'm a King
Chris.
Arthur.
Yeah. So King Arthur, perfect.
Yep.
I love their flour.
Yep.
And I would almost tell you that this flour is really comparable to that.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, that's saying a lot.
I'm going to have to bring some
Bring
for you.
some back for me. Yes.
It's called Robin Hood flour.
Okay.
Okay, and it is a bread flour, and I just find that the texture of my bread is different with that flour than it is with other.
Okay. Well, there you go.
It works.
I believe you. I believe you. I do.
So when I come back, I always have a 50-pound bag of flour or two in my car. You know, the people at the
that's too
border, if
funny.
they ever check us, and we have been checked a couple of times, I will say that.
Oh my
but
goodness,
When we come
okay.
back across the border and get checks, they're like,
Ma'am?
what are you bringing this back for? Yeah.
What's in that what's that white stuff in that bag?
Exactly.
Nothing. It's flour. Oh my goodness. Wow.
See, Pat even says the Wonder Bars, made by Cadbury, but you can't buy Wonder Bars in the 7-Eleven or Maverick or whatever,
Kathy
but you
said
buy it.
They used to have Robin Hood in the States.
Did they?
That's what she said.
Oh, really?
Liz says Robin Hood is all she's ever used for making breads.
See, there you
Well,
go. Right.
there you have it.
That's right.
Who knew?
Robin Hood flour is what I
Okay,
use for
well.
making my bread, and it works out great. But anyway,
That's awesome.
Those are a few things. We love,
love this.
we love Canada.
Yes.
It's about a 10-hour drive for us
Yeah.
to get to my daughters from here,
Yeah.
which it doesn't pay to fly.
No.
Between the time and the cost of everything,
sure.
it doesn't pay to fly. So we just take a great drive, and I will tell you,
Mm-hmm.
a drive through Montana is, and you go along the Missouri River, is absolutely gorgeous. But once you hit Canada, it's just as pretty too. So it's
Yeah.
fun.
Kinder. Oh, Kinder Bar, yeah.
Kinder Bars. They have Kinder Surprises. Now their Kinder Surprises are
Yeah.
different
Oh, are
because
they?
they have the egg itself is pretty much the same, but they also have a little tiny toy
They
on
do
the
here.
inside. But it's different. The toys are
The
different.
toys are different. Oh,
What can I say?
Okay,
Yeah.
well, you heard it here.
Yeah,
The
yep.
toys are different.
There's a different
Okay.
toy in Kinders up there than they are down here. So
Well, you know what? The more you know, the more
Yes,
you
right.
know, the better
That's
your
right.
life will be.
that's exactly right.
Oh, thank you for enlightening us today,
You bet, you
Sandra.
bet. This has been fun.
This has been a great project. I'm really excited to see, there's lots of different ways to be able to get some of those same results, whether you're using Terrell Magic, whether you're using freezer paper, whether you're using photo paper that's designed for doing this very thing. There's a lot of different ways to get that same result, but the end result is gorgeous nonetheless.
Yes, I
and
totally agree.
you've created a memory keepsake
Yeah.
that you'll always treasure. So there's a lot to be said for that.
I'm
All
going to
right.
put this in an envelope and send it to my daughter.
Oh, I love that.
And
yes.
see if she recognizes it. See what she'll do.
Exactly. I think
yeah.
that sounds absolutely perfect.
Yes.
All right, friends. Well, that wraps us up for this week. As you know, we don't do 3 at 3 on Fridays, but we're so glad that you've been with us. We hope you've learned something new or perhaps inspired by. And if you wouldn't mind sharing this video or any others that you especially enjoyed, we would be so incredibly grateful for you for doing that. And let's just wrap up with a couple more announcements at the end real quick.
What do we got going on tonight?
Tonight is going to be so much fun.
I'm anxious about
Jack
this one.
Thompson, who is one of the founders and one of the inventors of the Caterpillar, and he's going to be with me here in just a couple hours. Very excited.
Good.
So who's joining us for that? Let us know, because we want you to be with us tonight, 6 p.m., Facebook as well as YouTube, and you're going to have a chance to win. We're giving away three, not one, not two, but three.
Can I? Pick me.
If your name is
Yeah.
Beatrice Smith.
Okay.
There you
I'll
go.
change my name. I'll change my name for that.
Oh, a lot of you are coming. Yay.
Oh, good. This is
Good.
awesome.
Because we are giving away 3 light boards. But not only that, we are also going to be giving away one of the brand new just debuted flip and fold cutting mats. Have you seen this?
I saw it. I just saw it over here.
It's gonna blow your mind.
That's awesome.
It starts out like this, and depending on what size area you're at, you can make it up to
What a great
like this
travel.
whole thing right
What
here.
a great travel.
Exactly.
Mat,
It actually
that'd be
will do
perfect.
5 sizes. It folds into
Oh,
5
gosh.
different sizes of cutting mats. So it's definitely something you're not going to want to miss. You're going to learn some of the, the ideas, the thinking behind creating something like this. And then, of course, what are the features and benefits of each of these products? It's really going to be a fun night, and I hope you'll join me. And I hope you will share tonight about tonight with everyone you know, because we'd love to be able to give you one of those items. So
That's great.
all right, friends. Well, thank you again for hanging out. We love you. We appreciate you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Hope to see you at 6 o'clock tonight. And if not, I hope to see you again real soon.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everybody.